Hey, how y'all doing? I hope everyone is having a great day. I hope that your day is filled with so much joy and happiness and that you're not letting anybody tear down your spirits because, people will do it. They will do all they can to break you. And you just got to stand strong and tell them, no weapons formed against me shall prosper. For I shall live and not die because great is he that is in me than he who was in the world. Just keep that mindset of how you want things to flow in your life and everything's going to be okay. But I want to come on here and talk to y'all about spirits and demons and let y'all know that they are real and that they do exist. Now, coming up when I was like 13 to 14 years old, when people would tell me about somebody they lost in their family or a friend or something like that, and they say that they seen them or they heard them, I didn't believe it. I just felt like they were just a flat out lie because I was like, when they died, they are gone. They're never coming back. You won't see them. So I don't believe it. In my heart and my mind and soul, I just wouldn't believe that. But fast forward when I was like 20 some years old, maybe like 25, 26 at the time, something like that. My father had passed away in 1998. I found out later about him being in the hospital, and I wasn't able to be there with my daddy when he passed away. So, when I found out he died, I cried and cried and cried and cried. You know how it is when you lose somebody. You just get hysterical. You just cry your eyes till you just can't cry no more. And, just the pain of just losing somebody. But when I went to bed late on that night, now I was always a scary person. I didn't like to have the lights off. If I was home alone, I would always keep the lights on, TV on, anything where I just know, I just feel like I'm safer. I would just always scary like that. So I would always keep something where I feel like I can be seen with the lights on. But this particular night, I said, well, you know what? I'm not going to be scared. I'm going to go ahead and cut the lights off, and I'm just going to go to sleep. Only a few people know about my experience from at that time. Okay, so anyway, when I cut the lights out and I lay down, I'm not really even all the way asleep yet. I'm just laying there, and I always sleep on my left side. That's my favorite side to lay on. So when I laid there, I have my arms, like this while I'm sleeping, and I'm really not even sleep that hard because I'm not a hard sleeper. I'm not a real light sleeper, but I'm a light enough sleeper to where if I hear something going on, then it's gonna wake me up, and I'm gonna see what's happening. 30 minutes in of laying down, I could feel like a presence that was coming from all the way above behind me. And it was like it started from the ceiling of the house, in the room that I was in. And like it was just slowly coming down, really, 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 really slow. You know what I mean? Like just so slow, like it was taking its time. And as I'm feeling this behind me, my body is just continuously rocking this away. And I'm doing all I can to open my eyes, but my eyes wouldn't open. That's how strong and how heavy the spirit was. Like it wouldn't allow me to move. But in my mind, I'm up because I'm feeling this. And I'm scared at the same time. My heart is beating fast. And I'm wondering what this is and who this is and what's going on at the time. And it finally hit the bed behind me, like slowly. Then it sounded like I could hear a snoring sound. My daddy was a snorer, but I can hear a snoring sound. I'm about to cry because it's really so emotional to talk about. But the more I laid there, I did begin to fall asleep because the spirit wouldn't allow me to move. It wouldn't allow me to turn around. So I couldn't see what was behind me, but I know it was a spirit. I was thinking in my mind, I got to tell my Aunt Ola about this. I got to tell my Aunt Ola that my daddy came to see me. My daddy was here. I know she's not going to believe me, but I just got to call and tell about it. So the longer that I laid there, I did go into a deep sleep, and I started to dream that someone was breaking into the room. So when I got up that morning, I don't know how long I was up, but I did get up and call to let her know that I had felt his presence with me that night. And she said, yeah. She said, I had an experience with him too, and he was up the stairs and he was calling my name, and it was just the way that she said it that was kind of like funny to me. Like, but I mean, I can't say that she was lying because I don't know. Maybe she was telling the truth. I just knew that my experience was true. I knew what I experienced that night, and from that point on, like I don't know what happened. It's like if my daddy had a generational curse, he brought it with him that night, you know, when he laid behind me. If there was anything in his whole entire life that he ever was dealing with that was traveling after him and chasing after him, he brought it with him that night. And things had never been the same for me in my life. Things had never looked the same. My whole mindset had changed about spirits and demons from that point on. So, some months on down the line, my grandmother that was in the nursing home passed away. And I didn't even know my grandmother was even gone at the time. I just know that my oldest son was there with me and we were sleeping. Now, this was probably like early in the morning, maybe like 9 or 10. And when I looked towards the bedroom door, all I seen was this watery vision, it wasn't a person's body where you could see the whole figure. It was just like a watery vision of something right there. And I thought I was tripping. It was like if you ever seen the movie The Predator, when that predator was in the tree and he was trying to disguise himself, that's basically what I saw. When I seen it, I just turned around, closed my eyes, and went on back to sleep. I thought I must have been tripping because I'm like, maybe my eyes was a little blurry or something, but I knew in my heart and my mind, I know I seen something. Anyway, I had a situation that day of some things that was going on, and I called my mother. And I was crying, and I was all upset, and I was telling her all about what had happened that day when I had got up about, me getting into it over the phone with this particular person. And as I'm talking, my mama say, Erica, you know what? She said, I don't even want to hear this right now. She said, my mama just died this morning, and I'm not even trying to talk about all that right now. And when she said that, I began to cry more. Oh gosh, I'm trying not to cry because I don't want to cry while I'm talking about this. When she told me that, I began to cry more and more. And I was like, Mama, for real? I said, I seen Grandma this morning. I said, I seen her spirit. I thought I was tripping because whatever time my grandmother died, she must have came home. So anyway, after my daddy and my grandmother passed away, it brought about a lot of different changes in my life. From that night on, I would feel something tugging at my spirit. It seemed like it was pulling me from my feet, trying to pull me out the bed. And at this time when I'm asleep, it's like the heaviness was over me so strong again that it was causing me not to be able to move as far as wake up or get up. But I was shaking like this. I'm rocking my whole body. And it was like being in a Freddy Krueger movie where the person they dreaming about Freddy Krueger and they trying to wake up, but they can't wake up. Even though I was in that predicament, and this is not funny because this is like for real. This is like how I truly was feeling. And because I want to get up and I'm just, and I couldn't do anything. And it just felt like they was trying to take my soul from my body. Now, while I'm laying there, in my eyes is all darkness, so I don't see anything. I don't see anything happening. I don't see anybody. I just feel this tug on my spirit. It was getting to a point that I was just scared to go to sleep. I didn't want to go to sleep anymore. I was tired of just going through the experience because it was so many years. This had started all the way in 1998, and years and years and years and years it followed me every day of my life, and I didn't want to go to bed. There was like not a night that I can go to bed that something strange wasn't happening to me. So fast forward, I did end up leaving my grandmother's apartment. And I can remember a time that I spent the night with a friend. And I was like, if you see me struggling in my sleep, wake me up. Because that's how I was. So I'm laying there sleeping. I don't know how long I was out. When I was laying there, I was doing my little thing, I'm trying to wake up, get myself up. And I'm fighting in my dream. Because I can feel this heaviness. It felt like a 2-ton elephant or something sitting on me, on my spirit, and it's holding me down, and it's trying to keep me from moving. It's trying to keep me from getting up. Like I said before, I didn't see anything. Everything was dark. But I'm struggling, and I'm really trying to get up, and I'm making all this noise. And I don't know how many times it took him to shake me, but he finally got me up, and he said, "Dang." He said, "Dang, I thought you was having a seizure or something." I said, "Nah, I wasn't having no seizure. I told you when I go to sleep to just wake me up if you see me struggling." I said, because that's how them spirits was on me. I wanted to make sure that I don't die in my sleep, because that's what I feel like. If I'd have laid there any longer with these demons or spirits or whatever was going on with me while I was asleep, I feel like I was going to die. Years on down the line, the spirits were starting to get more profound, where they was coming to me in the image of somebody that I knew. I just remember that one day I was laying in the bed, and when I looked in my mirror, I could see a person that I used to be with. He looked the same, and from when I turned around, the room was dark, but I had a mirror that was facing my bed. So when I turned around, he looked just like he looked, his body figure and everything. What he would wear, it's like he had on the same kind of clothes. And when I opened my eyes again and I looked again, it was the vision of that person was gone. I knew it's like he shouldn't have been there, because I was in the bed by myself. Nobody was there. My kids was at home, but I was in the bed by myself. So, and I'm just thinking like, dang, I must be tripping or going crazy or something, because this was just something I had never seen before. And another time when I was living in this apartment complex, I was laying in the bed. I had to get up and use the restroom. So the room was dark, but I had stayed on the third floor, and I just had blinds. I didn't have any curtains on my window. And the light from outside was shining through my room, and I had all these boxes packed up that was on the side of my wall, because I was getting ready to move from that apartment to somewhere else. When I looked over there in the corner of the wall where the boxes was, it was like a man that was like he was in armor. He didn't have on a shirt, and all I can see was muscles, and he was really, really big, and he looked like he was either white or light-skinned. All I know is he wasn't dark-skinned, and I couldn't really see a face, and I really couldn't see the hair. I can just see this person that was just like they were standing there, and I was kind of scared, and I played it off like I didn't see it because I had to use the restroom. So I got up to use the restroom, and when I turned the bathroom light off to come out the bathroom, my husband was standing at the door. Now, I don't know why he was standing there like that, but he was just standing there facing the door, and when I opened the door up to come out, I just started hollering, ah, 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 and it was funny because I started laughing. He said, what the hell is wrong with you? And I said, man, if you only knew what I had seen before I came to this bathroom, then you understand what I'm talking about. And I just laughed it off because I was scared already. And when I come out the bathroom, he like just standing there. Like fast forward to other times. So when I moved out of that apartment, I moved into a house. And when I moved into that house, I was starting to see more things coming. Where I had felt like I had an out-of-body experience. Like I didn't die and see, like, travel the world and see all kind of stuff. It wasn't like that. I was asleep, but it's like I was laying there at the edge of the bed, and it's like I can see myself come out of my body. And as I'm hovering over my body, I can see myself laying there, and I was able to go back to my body. So, I mean, this was like really weird to me. So, like, where I was having dreams, feeling like I was actually up, but I was still sleeping at the time. I was dreaming that I was in my bed, and everything in the bedroom looked just like it did, from the covers to the mirrors to the sheets to the carpet. Everything was the same. And it happened like 3 times the same night. I'm dreaming that I'm in my bed, and I try to get out the bed. It's like I'm tripping over the sheets and the blanket. When I opened the door, my sister and my daughter-in-law was in the living room with my son's baby. And it was kind of like foggy in there. It was like dark, was no lights on. And they looking at me when I come out the room, but they didn't say anything. The scene of the dream was something different to let me know that I must have been dreaming. So when I walk down the hall and I see this phone on the floor, and I pick up the phone and I'm listening, and I'm like, hello, hello. I can hear my mother's voice say, so Erica, what you gonna do? My mother passed away in January of 2012, and I never had a chance to see my mother at that time, or see any kind of visions of her around the time that she had passed. But I was having dreams of her and hearing her on the phone. And it was crazy because then I ended up back in the bed. And once I was back in the bed, it's like the whole scene was just like it was again. My room is the same. I'm back in the bed, and I'm asleep, and I'm dreaming. And I get back up. I'm not tripping over the cover this time. I get back up, and I reach for the door, and I go out the room again. And I can't hardly remember what happened in that second part when I come out the living room, and everything is just still the same. And I can't remember what happened, but I end up back in the bed again. And I'm like, because I'm in my mind, I'm like I'm asleep, but I'm not asleep, and I'm dreaming, but I'm feeling like I'm actually up. And it was crazy. So I end up back in the bed in this dream. I get up out the bed. Everything is still the same. I open the door, and when I get ready to reach for the door, like a skeleton hand reached for the door. Its hand was really, really black. So when I seen it, it scared me. And that's when I actually woke up, realizing that I was in a dream, but it was making me feel that it was real, like I was really up at this time. The next experience was when I moved out of that house and moved into an apartment complex. And that's when I actually got a chance to see my mother, because it was like early in the morning, maybe like 7:30 in the morning. And when I woke up and looked towards my bedroom door, I can see what my mother was buried in. Now, my mother was buried in a red skirt set. Her arms was really, really black. Her face was really, really black. I couldn't even see nothing but the kind of like her eyes. And on the right side of her, I can see something that was in white standing on the side of her. Maybe it wasn't even really my mother. Maybe it was a demon coming, trying to come as my mother. But I know I seen it. And when I seen it, and I just started crying. I told my husband, close the door. He said, what's wrong? I said, I seen my mama. I said, close it. And from that point on was the only time I was able to see her. Like the vision of her, or if it was her, or if it was a demon, that's what I seen. Something that came back in the image of my mama. Now, one day, I had dropped my husband off to work early in the morning. So when I came back home and laid down across the bed, I wasn't even asleep. I just laid there. And when I laid down, I can feel the edge of my bed like it was sinking in, like somebody had sat down on the bed. And from that point on, it made me really want to get serious about changing my life, to give my life to the Lord, get saved, get baptized, and be forgiven of all my sins and all this stuff, because this was like too much for me. And this was like in 2015, 2016 or something like that. And I was just getting tired of year after year, time after time, day after day, fighting these demons, and they follow me everywhere I go. So I did get saved, I did get baptized and all that kind of stuff, but those demons still did not stop. I mean, they was on me hard, like for real. So I got up and I was crying after I felt that, and I just told the Lord, I just want to get my life right. I want to live for him, because there's no way that I can keep going through my entire life where these demons are steady trying to take my soul, because it's like so much was happening to me. This is another part that happened I forgot to tell y'all about. Now, when I had moved in these apartment complexes, like a little further off, but way before this had happened, it's probably like 2000, maybe 2000, 2001. I was still having those same experiences, and this lady had was outside having a garage sale, and I just know I needed to talk to somebody. I just need to talk to somebody bad and just confess everything that I've been going through, what was going on and what was happening to me. And when I went outside and I was telling that lady about what had happened, she said, baby, I'm going to tell you something. She said, you need to go in there and anoint every part of your wall in that house and pray those demons out of your house. That's not your grandmother or your daddy. She said, those are spirits trying to take your soul from your body while you sleep. And she said, I know this is because it was happening to me. And I was just beginning to cry as she was telling me about it. I said, because I didn't know if it was them or what it was. I just know that I was scared. I was scared to go to sleep, and I didn't want to lay down. And I just couldn't take another night of this. So I went in the house and I prayed over the walls, and I prayed and I prayed, and I was praying that they was leaving, So I did that. And it seemed like they was gone for a whole week straight. I was able to go to sleep. I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel any tugging at my spirit. I didn't feel like anything was in my bed. I didn't feel like nothing was trying to get me out of the covers. I felt like I, didn't have to sleep with the light on, the TV on. At that time, I was still kind of testing myself of not being scared of sleeping in the dark, because it seemed like when I was sleeping in the dark, more things were starting to happen, so I would leave the lights on. But then even when I left the lights on or the TV on, things were still happening while I was in the bed. But at this time, when I prayed over the house, nothing was happening. Like, I was able to sleep, and it lasted a whole week straight, and that was it. And it was on again from that point on. Back to 2015, 2016, I just know I was ready to surrender. I was just ready to give my life to the Lord. And all the things I feel like I had been through. So after everything had happened, I could still feel like a presence. Like, I would know that spirits are around. It's like somebody coming into my room, and it's like they open the door and they can be like, come on in, everybody come on in, just everybody come on in. So it felt like it was like a lot of people coming in my room. You know, like if you laying down somewhere, or you sitting in a particular room of your house, and you sitting there and you with your husband, your wife, your kids, or whatever, when they walk out the room, you know they walked out. And when they walk in, you know they must be coming in without even looking at them come in, because you can feel their presence coming. That's how it was. I can feel the presence of many spirits. And when I would feel that feeling, I would be wide awake. Sometimes I may be just laying down, and I can feel like a presence is around me. I could feel the spirits. They was like heavy like that. The last experience that I can remember that I had, maybe 2021 or something like that. I was laying in the bed. I wasn't in a deep sleep, and I could feel something where it put its hands on the sides of my head on the pillow, and it pushed the pillow back, like, and it said, I got you now. And I was able to jump up, and I just started crying, praying to God that these spirits leave me alone, because they was like torturing me here on earth. And no matter what I did, no matter where I went, I just felt so much of this. And this is just my experience that I wanted to give to y'all. I don't know if any of y'all have ever experienced anything with demons or spirits, or what you may have saw or what you may have heard, but I want you to know they are real. And if you have experienced any of these things, I would like for you to share it with me and let me know what your experience was. I pray that all of y'all will be safe, stay encouraged. The Lord says to seek ye the kingdom of God first, and all things shall be added unto you. Don't let the devil trick you out of your salvation and have you going to hell, where I know you wouldn't want to go, because I know that I don't want to go there, and I know you wouldn't want to go there. A lot of people talk real big when they're here on this earth about how they don't believe in God and they don't believe in nothing else. But once you leave and you're burning in eternity for the rest of your life, and you cannot get out of the pits of hell, you're going to want to take those words back, and you're going to want to ask God to forgive you. But at that time, it's going to be too late. That's the reason why it's important for you to do it right now, while you're still living, while you're still on this earth, while you still got breath in your body, to right your wrongs and make sure that whatever you've done, God will forgive you of your sins. I don't want to see none of you go to hell. Baby, I'm not even trying to go there at all. God bless you. I love you. And remember that God loves you more.